Good morning, Foster. Today is May 2nd, 2020. It's the Sabbath. What do we believe about Satan? There is a great battle taking place in this world. A conflict between right and wrong, good and evil, truth and error. But sometimes it's difficult for us to understand what the fundamental issue in this great controversy actually is. No passage reveals this underlying issue better than Genesis chapter 3. In Genesis chapter 2, God took our first parents, Adam and Eve, and placed them in a garden, Eden. He showed them the trees of the garden, and he said to them, "From the fruit of these trees you may freely eat. Choose what you like, pick what you will. But from the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden you may not eat. It is a test for you. We will call it the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree, because the day that you do, you will die." In Genesis chapter 3, a serpent comes on the scene. John the Revelator in chapter 12 of the book of Revelation picks up this imagery when he describes the great dragon, the devil, and Satan. He calls him that old serpent. So in Genesis chapter 3, Satan appears to our first parents in the form of a serpent. Verse 1 says, "Now the serpent was more subtle or crafty than all the other beasts of the field. And he said to the woman, 'Has God said to you, you may not eat from the fruit of these trees?' And Eve, our first mother, said to the serpent, 'Yes, God has said we may eat from the fruit of these trees, except for the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden. We shall not eat from it or even touch it, for in the day that we do, we will die.' And then the serpent responded to her, 'You won't die.'" Here is the fundamental issue in the controversy between right and wrong, good and evil, truth and error. Some people say that it's obedience versus disobedience, and that certainly is a part. But the real fundamental issue in this conflict between Christ and Satan is, who will you trust? God said one thing, and the serpent, that great dragon, the devil and Satan, said something else. Who will you trust? That's the fundamental question. And you have a choice today, Foster, to decide on which side you will fall. Will you trust Jesus, Michael, and his army? Or will you side with the dragon and his army? Who are you going to trust? That's the fundamental question. Have a great day, Foster.